NoFap is literally the reason why you cannot quit porn. And let me tell you how to actually quit porn. Because you gotta understand that when it comes to porn itself, NoFap, we see it as the cure, whilst it's actually the problem, okay? I've coached on hundreds of men, okay? Many and most of them have been able to quit almost instantly just because we do the opposite of what NoFap tells us to do, and we remove the NoFap ideology completely from whatever I teach them. What you need to understand, okay, is that when you come into the NoFap space, now your life is gonna have many problems. So let me give you an example. When you go and start watching NoFap videos, what happens, okay? You go from someone who's normal, who's watching porn, and yeah, okay, has a slight impact on your life, but now you get told all of these negative side effects that are gonna happen when you watch porn, and then you start thinking, oh, the moment I was a bit shy with that woman, it was because of porn. Oh, that moment where I didn't really feel connected to God, it was because of porn. Now, I'm not saying porn is harmless by any means, right? I believe porn has genuinely zero value and only has downsides. But once you believe that it has all of these big problems, that porn is like this big, valuable, but destroying thing that's going to destroy your life, what happens is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe, it becomes your belief, and because of that, you act according to that. So every single time you watch porn, you're going to feel less confident. You're going to feel, more disconnected. You're going to feel all of those things because of what NoFap told you. And, I'm religious myself. My students are religious. You're probably religious as well, right? You believe in God, whatever. But NoFap is not even a religious institution. You go and do research. We think, oh, NoFap is that thing where it's like to get closer to God, but NoFap doesn't care. If you read your brain on porn, if you read all of these NoFap videos, you'll see that these people are doing it for porn-induced erectile dysfunction, just to get more laid with women and all of those things. They don't do it for God. Okay, you gotta understand that NoFap is simply toxic. It's one of the worst things that someone can adopt in order to actually quit porn. Because another thing you gotta understand, once you come into the NoFap space, what happens? Okay, what happened to me is I tried to stop watching porn, but then the NoFap space kept on telling me that my brain was wired differently. That my brain, there was all of this dopamine that I was searching, right? And that I was an addict, and that it will take years to stop. So guess what? If I ended up believing that, which is what happened, now it just becomes my reality. Because if I believe that, right, here's how it works. Your perception affects your beliefs, okay? Your beliefs affects your thoughts, okay? Your thoughts affects your decisions. Your decision affects your actions, and your actions affects your reality, your results. So if you go to the belief or the perception you have around things, they're gonna determine the results you're gonna have. That's why when I coach people and they quit in less than 7 days, most people don't even believe me, or the NoFap coaches send me a message saying, stop lying and all of those things. It's impossible because it's been years, right? And I don't want to take pride in that. I've just like basically learned from other people that are better than me at this in the past, and I've done a lot of research. But you gotta understand that if the perception is at the base of everything, your beliefs, right? If you get to alternate those things, you completely quit. Most people cannot believe this. They think, oh yeah, you switch your identity, just think that porn is not good for you, whatever. No, that's not how it works. It's way more simple, but most people don't know about it, right? What we do, right? And that's why NoFap is toxic. They change your perception around porn. They make porn go from literally a video on the screen, a video on your phone, okay? Literally a video, okay? Just like a video on TV, just like a video on YouTube, okay? A video of people having sex. And they make it as this big monster, but at the same time, it's not just a big monster, it's also something that gives you a huge amount of pleasure, that it's gonna, really just relieve your stress in that moment being, and that it's going to overall fire up your brain activity and do all of those things, okay? But the thing is, you don't question that. You just believe it because, oh, this YouTuber told me that. Oh, because the NoFap space told me that. You don't question it. And because you don't question it, it becomes something which you believe in, and you believe in that, so that, the beliefs affects everything under that, right? Your action, your thoughts, your decisions, all of those things. That's where the thoughts are, the urges are your thoughts, right? right? When you have an urge, it's not physical, it's a thought. So guess what? Urges are created because of your beliefs. This is life-changing information if you can really understand it. Because quitting porn is not about, tell me, I've tried every single NoFap technique. I've tried keeping myself busy. I tried getting rid of trauma. I tried all of those things, changing my lifestyle, having a purpose, building a business, doing push-ups, cold showers, distracting myself. I've tried everything. And I was tired of it, man. Like, I was tired of it. I was tired of like going 60 days, 90 days, 120 days without porn. I even go 1 year, okay? I literally went 1 year without porn. But then I just watched porn again. I was like, what is happening? And then I'll just be back into the cycle, right? And I kept on telling people, oh, you know, I don't watch porn. I had like kind of like this pride, but then I was living this double life. Like, I was just basically, you know, watching porn, but then saying to not watch porn, you know? And the thing I realized is that without the NoFap ideology, once you truly remove that, that's essentially one of the big things we do when we coach our students, right? We remove the NoFap ideology. We remove the concept of addiction. We remove the concept of your brain is rewired, right? We don't just remove it out of like, you know, just, oh, don't believe it, right? We actually show why these things are actually not true so that you can change your perception, your beliefs. Because think about it. Who's gonna quit? The guy who thinks he's addicted and that his brain is rewired, that he needs porn for pleasure, for stress relief, for pain relief, for all of those things, that it's almost as if like, you know, he's been watching it for years, so it's gonna be almost impossible to quit. Or the guy who thinks, oh, I watch porn because I used to enjoy it. Now I want to make a change and I'm gonna go and just you know, do whatever I can to quit, right? There's a huge difference. I've known many people that quit it instantly without no coaching, without anything, just because they didn't have this mindset, right? I always say this to people. Like, I had one friend that just left porn instantly, never went back to it. He was like, I'm on a, I think 200-day streak, whatever, right? He wasn't really counting, but he knew that it was like, it was his first track too, right? He just said, you know, I asked him, okay, how did you do it? He said, I never really saw myself in an addiction, right? So for him, it was more a choice. You gotta understand that he didn't believe in a NoFap ideology. You gotta question things. Use critical thinking. Don't even believe me. Don't just believe me blindly. That's useless. You gotta really understand from your own perspective and really just use your critical thinking. Because when you're not using your critical thinking like I used to do with NoFap, whatever NoFap will tell me, I will believe it. So if NoFap tomorrow tells me that the reason why I cannot hit my PR at the gym is because I watched porn 7 years ago, then I might believe it and it might actually become true, and now I'm weak at the gym because of that belief. Not because of, you know, it's actually true, but because I believe it, and because of that I act according to that, right? There's multiple studies. Go look at studies where placebos are done, for example, on depressed individuals, right? They take depressed people, right? And I don't want to go into like why depression is not real, right? I don't want to go into that, but they take quote unquote depressed people and give them a pill containing nothing, okay? And then they take actually like depressed people and give them a pill that has like antidepressants and all those things, and the results were literally almost the same. A guy who has a pill with nothing and a guy who actually has antidepressants. You know why? Because it's in the mind. They have an active placebo because it's in the mind. They just believe it's gonna happen, so it happens. So if you believe the same way about NoFap, oh, you know, NoFap told me this, and I'm not gonna question because, you know, I'm just want to, you know, I just think it's beneficial for me, whatever, right? And you know, if you want to believe it, cool, right? It's your choice, right? I'm not gonna judge you, but like, if you just believe all of the negatives about porn and how it's impossible to quit, and that, you know, porn is like this big monster that is gonna be a battle to fight, and that you have urges and temptations that you have no control over, all of these lies. Now what happens is you believe in them, you act according to that. Self-fulfilling prophecy. So today, okay, starting today, if there's one thing you can do, okay, just go and question those beliefs. Use critical thinking. Why is that true? Because most of the time, okay, if I ask any of you, and you know, I can use me in the past as an example. If I were to ask me in the past, Samir, why is porn addiction real? You think I would really have an answer? I would just be like, oh, because I watch porn even though I don't want to watch porn. Really? So I'm asking, why is porn addiction real? What is a porn addiction? You don't even know what a porn addiction is. It's just you come up with your own conclusion, with your own belief. You understand that even if delusion is mainstream, it doesn't mean that it is the truth. It's not because something false is accepted by everyone in a certain group of people that you follow that this thing is objectively true. You know, I say this to people because my students, most of the time, Christians, Muslims, whatever, right, people that believe in God, they really just think, oh, people with the same faith as me believe that they're getting tempted and that they have urges, and that porn is because the devil forced them to watch porn and all of those things. So, as a byproduct, they just want to believe it because it's like, the people that associate themselves with. But I also want to really help you quit, by just making you use critical thinking. Use critical thinking. I'm not saying like to go against your own teachings, right? Not at all, right? Go and actually stop believing in the no, because most of the time we think, oh, NoFap is that thing where we need to do it because it's like we shouldn't indulge in lust. But NoFap most of the time makes you indulge in lust and feel even more shame about it. So the truth is, quitting is simple and easy. You just got to get to the root cause. And I do the subconscious alternation. But if you believe in the NoFap ideology, it's going to be extremely hard. Start using critical thinking and you'll quit very, very soon, and in an effortless manner. Samir, I'm out.